Alright YouTube, Drake here, and I'm here to do the review on a beautiful game that I used to play back in the PC days, which they finally went first person, and I think they did a beautiful job.
Yeah, they did.
Syndicate. Oh my god, they went from a top-down strategy shooter to this. Yeah. Good job, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the information about what's going on here, because I'm just too excited about this game.
Hey, white rage.
No, that wasn't white rage. That's white pleasure.
Whoa.
Cream. Anyways, here's my review of Syndicate.
Alright folks, like I said, I'm going to be doing the review for Syndicate. Yes, Syndicate. A lot of you may not recognize what this game actually was to what it actually is now. And the one thing that it was a top-down strategy shooter, basically. Of course, you had four of your syndicates your different syndicates that had your four different agents. Now, your four agents would go out and do missions, of course, top-down style, to go around, of course, eliminate targets, sabotage factions, or destroy a faction completely. But in this game, they brought it to a first-person genre. They kind of kept it the same by having, of course, your agents. The only part that I think that kind of sucked is that the single-player mission was only a single agent. Well, considering that they were trying to offer the Dart 6 system, I can kind of understand why they wanted to go ahead and do it with this fashion. But anyways, when it comes to the game play itself, I do thoroughly enjoy it. For one thing, it gave it your fast-pacedness. It gave it you are an agent, and you do have these abilities to annihilate your competition. Of course, you're building them up slowly, of course, since it's a new Dart 6 system, but hey, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with little character development. But once you get all your abilities, that's pretty much the peak of what your character can do on the single-player campaign. And you know what? As long as you know how to incorporate both your firearms and your hacks, then you can get through pretty much anything without a problem. And that's the one thing I enjoyed about it, was the fact that I could sit there and, you know what, eliminate a group of people by, you know what, hey, I'm going to hack you and put you on my team. You're just going to commit suicide and kill the 5 guys next to you. And then continue on from there. Now, the other thing that I enjoyed about this game was actually the graphics. They made it very beautiful, crisp, clean, futuristic look, and smooth. That's the one thing I do enjoy about the look of this compared to what it used to be back in like the 90s when I played the original one, where it was top down, you had some colors, but you know what? I personally think they did a good job with the graphics itself. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the gameplay. Of course, the control mechanisms that they had for this one, you, of course, can dash. Of course, you can slide, but that's the only mechanic that annoys me, is the sliding mechanic. Because you would think after you would be running forward and then you would slide, that you would stay ducked so that way you can get behind some cover. Unfortunately, it didn't always work. Normally, you would stand straight up and you're looking at somebody with a shotgun in your face and you're wondering, okay, am I going to die? Nah. It took a moment, but once you did it, you were fine. The other thing about this game, its control scheme as well, is it was kind of sluggish when you were trying to turn at first. If you raised up the, of course, when you raise up the sensitivity for your view, it helps, but not as much as some people would enjoy. But to me, it didn't bother me any, because it's like, you know what, I enjoyed it. It was easy enough to learn, and it was easy enough to get used to. So I ain't going to complain. Now, the other thing I want to go ahead and mention as well is the one thing about this game storyline that I didn't like is the fact that they throw you into an awkward direction near the end of the game, and then finally at the end of the game, there was no satisfaction. Because you're told you need to kill this guy, otherwise he's going to kill you and annihilate these and you're like, okay, I've got to kill this guy. So you go to kill this guy. You don't get to kill this guy whatsoever. No, you don't get to kill him. He commits suicide. Honestly, what the heck is that? To me, that's not satisfaction. That's just leaving a loophole while I'm wondering why this is just left open like that. I don't know. But then in the end, the chick walks up to you and said, "Oh, heh, I lied. He wasn't going to shut off the system. I just told you that so you can go and kill him." And you're like, what the heck? You know what? Thank you for freeing me from the Syndicate, but you lied to me this entire thing, and now you're expecting me to help you again? Nah, I don't think so. Out, gone. I wish I could have killed her too, and then I would have been happy at the end of that one. Alright, now next up, what should we say? Multiplayer. That's the one thing that has a lot of controversy with a lot of you people out there, and I mean a lot of you people. Multiplayer, yes, they made it co-op. No, they didn't have any versus modes. But honestly, yes, I enjoyed it. I'm sorry that not a lot of people like the fact that you couldn't play versus against each other. But I mean, in the original Syndicates, they didn't even have that either. And of course, it was an older style and an older set, but yeah, it's just the way the game was designed. Now, eventually, I'm sure they'll probably end up coming with a map pack so that way you guys can get your versus mode. But to be honest, I don't think they're going to. Because this game is designed perfectly fine as a co-op game, not as a complete versus do all this other stuff thing. But other things that I kept on saying that there's no replay value. Well, even though I do agree that there is no replay value in the single player, because at the end it just kind of drops you like a rock in an ocean, but honestly, you don't need all that extra. The co-op is perfectly fine. You can replay the co-op over and over, and you can keep doing it until you upgrade all of your weapons, until you upgrade everything that you want and everything that you need. And there's a lot of people out there who enjoy that a lot more. Like personally myself, I enjoy more co-op games than I do versus games. And that's just because, you know what? On a versus game, yeah, all it is frustration, anger. There's people that cheat. There's people that do hacks. And there's people that use mod controls. So whenever you play versus, it's like, okay, what the heck? Not only that, on a lot of other games, your versus mode is getting skewered. A lot of these good players are getting screwed over. So, I mean, honestly, I don't care if they bring back versus mode for this game. To be honest, I hope they don't. Because the co-op mode is perfectly fine for me. Going around, defeating armies with you and your 3 other friends, and in the end being like, you know what, we got rid of this entire army and we still got the mission done. On hard. Yeah. Power to us. Because, I mean, we're the Dead Clan. We do fight against each other every once in a while when we play versus modes or attack each other with swords, as you know from our other videos. It's just co-op is a lot easier for us. A lot easier. And a lot more fun. Because we can sit there and we can show off our skills when we're working as a team. Hence for why I like co-op games personally. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this to the wrap up because this is getting a little bit longer and I'm starting to go off topic from Syndicate. But anyways, like I said, Syndicate, enjoyed the game, loved the game. I say buy the game. If you don't like the fact that it doesn't have versus mode, go ahead and rent it and play it. But make sure you play it with at least a couple of other players so you can get the feel for the co-op mode and how it actually is. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back off into the video so you guys can go ahead and hear the end cap review.
Oh, I feel a lot better after that. Oh,
Dude,
beautiful review.
these shoes weren't white.
Nah, so wasn't your shirt, Zeiss. So wasn't your shirt. Trust me, you don't want to see what Dead Man looks like.
Oh God, it's in my eyes.
Yeah, it's just that fun. Alright, guys.
Why?
Once again, that was my review. Like you heard, I love the game. Did a beautiful job. Graphics and everything. Now, our rating. Deadman's rating gives it a skull. Zeiss's rating, skull. My rating, another beautiful skull. So we've got a collection of skulls, which means buy it. I don't care if you've got to rob a bank to get the money to do it, just buy it.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the studio doesn't legally endorse robbing the banks. Yeah, we do.
We don't endorse it, but we don't say no to it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for the time. Once again, enjoy the game, subscribe, comment, and keep in mind, we do have our Studio Dead shirts now. I just forgot to wear them today. Anyways, stick to and game on.